man. And let me know how I sound because I can't tell. And I have the AC on in this room. Do I need to turn this AC off? Is it too loud? If so, I'll just turn it off. Get all this stuff here. Brandon. What's up? Hey, thank you, Glow. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you very much. How do I sound? Do I need to turn my volume up? Is my AC too loud? Because it's extremely hot up here. And hey, peace, Ray. Happy Father's Day. Appreciate it. One, you can hear me good. What about the AC? Can you hear it blowing in the back? Okay, cool. Good. First of all, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Um, I had a little time today. So I said, let me hop on, see what's going on. Talk a little bit about Father's Day. What's up, Speak? And oh, GMT was good, legend. Yeah. Um, yeah, I just want to get up here and talk a little bit about Father's Day, what it means to me, and you know, talk my junk a little bit about it. Um, so hopefully everybody's good. I only need about 2 in the chat before I get going. What's up, Mikey? Congratulations on your 10K subs. Congratulations on that. It's a big deal. Uh, Mikey, did you get your subs? Was it your shorts? And are you making money on them shorts? Look like you getting a little bit of money on them shorts. Um, that's cool though. 10K is big. 10K is big. Average, I think I saw it may be different now, but I know at one time, like the percentage of people that was getting just 1,000 subs was like, such a small percentage of people getting it. And I know that's kind of like a benchmark for monetization, or 500 now, but to get 10,000 is pretty good. So, um, but yeah, how was y'all Father's Day? What'd y'all do today? I I had these fantastical dreams that what I was gonna do today. I was gonna wake up. I was gonna go get my exercise in. I was gonna mow the lawn, power wash the house, steam all um, the appliances, and and I didn't consider that I was just coming off a 16-hour shift. So that 16 hours kicked my butt. So I wasn't able to do that. But nevertheless, I did communicate with all my babies. So that's the most important thing. Most important thing today was that. And so I'm definitely thankful for that. I appreciate y'all for being here, man. It's a lot of stuff going on in these YouTube streets. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna copy. All right, cool. All right, yeah. So I know y'all saw the intro. I previewed the intro a couple of maybe like a week or so ago. Um, that was done by a couple of local artists and a producer, and I had fun working with them and having them me just say like here's what the vision is for my channel. And they was able to, I mean, Fees came back, I want to say like a day. He just came, day or two, he came back and said, here, this is what I'm working on. And he already had the lyrics out. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right there. Leave it right there. Wherever you put that right there. Then he was like, all right, well, I just gotta mix it, get it mixed. And they worked on that. And I was gonna like uh premiere it, while I was live, like the first time, but you know, and then I went, of course, I went into Canva. I still haven't. I'm not an editor like Ray per se, but I was messing around. That was all done in Canva. I know there are other editing softwares that. Um, thank you, Petty Betty. Um, I know there's other editing softwares that are better, and you can make, but Canva's my speed, so um, I went in there and was messing around. That's why I do everything. Thumbnail is completely AI generated. That is not me, but what you do in that software is you upload 10 different photos of you, and then the software takes that and they make these images of you, and then you can just use it for whatever you want. You can put yourself, and you just have to type in what you want that image to look like. Thank you, Mia Mines. Thank you for being here. So anyway, that was the music, me messing around in Canva. We gonna get the show started. I'll be here for a little bit. So we gonna get the show started. And I'll be right back.
Yeah. Look, invitation sent, sign seal delivered, you got it, now welcome in. Engaging with the listener, a space for where you is. As we debate particulars, trying to build a bridge through conversation that's intimate. The mission is thought-provoking with words spoken. Bitter truth, not sugar-coated, just an openness placed on display. Wisdom in the words that he say, a part of just embracing every gray over here. No fear, clear, I'm unafraid. I'm much older, I no longer hold a child ways. Adults in the room, times past for playing games. Grown talk, isn't that the reason why you came? Simple and plain, delivery raw, straight to the chase. Better than before, learning from your yesterdays. Introducing insight, influence, be amazed by a brother of a certain age. Now rock with him.
In the words of Speak, now rock with me. All right. What's going on, man? I appreciate y'all for being here. Yeah, man. I actually talked to my pops probably like about an hour and a half ago. What's up, drama? What's good, man? Appreciate you coming here. And I have a good relationship with him right now, and it's been that way for the last 30 years or so. But there was a time when we didn't talk much. Roughly I want to say between like 12, 13 till I was about 20, 21 years old. Before that, he was, he lived with us. He left, whatever. As you get older, you understand the dynamics of relationship. As a kid, you don't understand that stuff. So you just want your pops or your moms. You don't want to, you don't want to hear them having issues with each other. You don't want to hear them talking junk about each other. You just want, you don't, and so you don't understand it. So, needless to say, I grew up with quite a bit of, I would say, hatred for him, and probably from the ages of 12, 13 to about 18, 19. I kind of was, had one foot in, one foot out of the street. So those are probably really important times where he, me having a relationship with him might have made a difference. But I got through that, and I hadn't I hadn't talked to him for a while. I want to say like 3 or 4 years I hadn't talked to him, and I was already in. I already had a family. I already had a kid, girl, and I was out. I moved in out to Hartford at the time, East Hartford, Hartford, and I got a phone call from him. I don't know how he got my number, but he called me, and he was like, um, you know, he just started talking to me, asking me questions, how I'm doing, and of course, I'm standoffish because we really haven't had any kind of good relationship at that point. So I'm a little bit standoffish, needless to say. And then he went on, and then at one point he got to the point where he was like, you, your brother, and your sister, y'all become good people, and I had nothing to do with it. It was all the credit goes to your mother. And he apologized to me, and so it was a really really emotional moment. And I up before then, I didn't know that that was something that I needed, because I was like, um, I don't need them. You know what I'm saying? I already got my family. I'm like 21, 22. My daughter's like 2 or 3 years old or whatever, and I don't need them. But when he called me and he said those words to me, and he gave all the credit to my mother, and he apologized. First of all, I said I thought he was dying, because that sounds like, he must have found out some bad news. And I'm like, okay, so, and I said, are you dying or something like that? And he said, no, no, I just really want to make it up to you and your brother and sister. And, just, I'm hoping that you'll, accept it. And I accepted it immediately. And I didn't know that that was one of the things I needed. I had a lot of bottled up anger, and a lot of things didn't make sense to me, and why I either behaved like I did, or, like why I had the outlook I did. But when he said those words to me and he apologized, he gave my mother the credit. There was no, and he asked if I would accept his apology. I was like, immediately, I I said, yeah, oh yeah. I before I could even think about it. And the reason was because, I wanted my dad in my life. And I as much as I talk, shit about him, to my friends, or when I was by myself, you know, I need him as much. When he said those words to me, I immediately forgave him. All that went out the window, and there was like a weight off of my shoulders from that. And that's one of the important things. That's why I wanted to talk today about the importance of fathers being in the kid's life and being a father as well. At 21, 22 years old, with my own family, I still wanted my father in my life. I did not know until that very moment, because I've been denying it. And I was, like I said, I was on my way. I'm an adult. I don't need him. But so if you think about somebody like me who was in my 20s, early 20s at the time, needing my father, needing just that conversation, and just that relationship, just think about younger kids and how important your role in their lives is as a father. So I look at, when I look at each of my kids, especially when they were little, I couldn't look at my kids, and I guess maybe that's where some of the anger came, because I looked at my kids and I was like, man, I don't know how I don't know, I care what the relationship is. I don't know how a man could look at his kids and not want to be in their life. And I vow, like, I don't care what the situation is. I don't care, who I'm getting along with or who I got to go through. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I'm in my kid's life. So so a lot of my anger came from me not understanding. Now, as you get older and you see how relationships sometimes devolve, and, and it has nothing to do with the kids. From a kid's point of view, I couldn't understand. As an adult, I can understand how things could, change the dynamics and how there could be barriers or things. Thanks, Howard. Happy Father's Day to you, Howard. It's my homie right there, one of my accountability group partners. Howard, appreciate you for stopping in. Um, but I can't look at my kids and not, like, especially when they're little and they're helpless and they need you, and all they want is just your attention, or they just want some acknowledgement, or they just want you to look, see, daddy, look what I did. And just those things, like, so many people I know missed out on those opportunities. And this is not like anything to shame anybody, because you don't know people's situation. So I'm just saying from my point of view, how important it is for us to, as fathers, if there's a possibility, if we can, try to figure out a way to make sure that we excuse me, are in our father's lives. I mean, sorry, our kids' lives. Hold on for a second. I need to get me a little bit of water. But yeah, so that's what I kind of wanted to come up here and talk about a little bit. My and even that's the other thing too. Even after we initially connected, well, let me go back a little bit. One of the things that when he was asking me, like, do you need anything? Is there anything I could do? Like, he would, and at that point, I said, um, I just want to have a beer with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm 21. You know what I'm saying? And it took a couple of years, but he's in Atlanta, so it took a couple of years for me to get out there, and I got to go out there and have a beer with him, and that was like, what I'm saying, that was real cool. And our relationship today has been that way. How it did take me a couple of years before I would call him on Father's Day. It did. I must admit, it took me a little bit longer. We would stick to, birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, but it did take a little while before, I did hold on to some of the stuff, but overall, the relationship and I have siblings that are, my mother has us three, but my father has other kids. So, I have brothers and sisters and families that, because we weren't connected, that I was missing out on whole other parts of family. Um, yeah, yep, I agree. And I guess it. Listen, depending on what stage of your life you are in, it can be scary. But um, for me, I just I can't look at those innocent little kids, especially when they're little. They, you put the kids out in the playground and let them go play. They'll play with anybody. They, long as somebody wants to play with them and they want your attention, and they're gonna, always want to, look up to you. Um, one of the stories I share with my pops too, I had him crying on the phone, is because he thought that I only had bad memories of him. Because it's not going into details, a lot of stuff happened. So I shared with him that he didn't remember, he didn't know that I remember, like, watching, WWF wrestling with him. But one of the things that when I shared this story with him, he actually started crying on the phone. I telling him that when he did live with us, thank you, Ms. VS. When he did live with us, I remember him coming home from work, and he would go, and the first thing he would do was go in the bathroom and wash his hands. And he was a maintenance man. He worked for the city out here in the projects out here. And so, oily, dirty hands. He would wash his hands and then go have him a beer. But he would wash his hands and leave the soap, and the soap dish had a little dirt on it. And I remember, like, he would leave the bathroom. I go in the bathroom after him and pretend like I just got out of work. He would go have his beer, sit in the chair, and when he first crack it open, he would take that first sip. He would always do this. After that first sip, he'd always do that, like he just came out of work and he finally got to sit down. So I would pretend, I was telling him I used to copy him, and I just wanted to be like him. And so that's where I was, when we was having a conversation, I was trying to get him to understand where my anger was. Like, I doted on him. I didn't care what his relationship with my mother was. I just wanted, to be around him. And he actually, that broke him down a little bit, because he said, damn, and I thought you only had bad memories of me. And I just, I didn't, but that came from his point of view. That was his, you know, his comeuppance or his karma, that the things that he did, or what he thought I saw, what he knew I saw, they stuck with him, and that stuff sticks with you. I'm like that too. Things that I've done wrong, or things that I've done to wrong people, that stuff stays with me all the time. And that's why, like with my kids, I was always been like, nah, I can't do that to my kids. Um, but we know, we'll move on a little bit. We know, like, how important it is for fathers to be in their kids' lives, and for especially like the boys with their fathers. And we look up to our dads. Our dads are superheroes. You know, big, strong. They always, I remember, the beard stubble, like things like that, where we don't really like, uh, because the grind of every day goes on, and we're working. It's, for me, it's Groundhog Day. So I work, I relax, I do a couple of things, give me some rest, and I'm back to work. And next thing you know, months go by. These things, I'm saying these things to you guys so you can slow down a little bit and understand that your kids definitely, even if they're in the same house, you know, and they just walking by, or they just peeking at you, or they just watching you, that's sometimes that's enough for them. And sometimes we don't, because we're doing life, and we're trying to, for me, I'm trying to make this money, trying to set up I'm trying to set up for the kid's future, retirement. I'm doing all these things. And sometimes we don't stop and take a deep breath, even if you want to smell the flowers and acknowledge that, this is some hard work. It And just because you're on autopilot, um, you can forget that, these kids, they just want a little bit of your time. You you have a if they have a game, or they have a performance, these little I know these little goofy performances, these Christmas performances, and all these things. They're like an hour long, and your kid might be in the third performance, so you might be in there for an hour, um, and before you even get to see your kid perform, and then they perform for like a minute, the feeling that the kid is getting, just looking out into the look, you see them, they looking to see you. See all the time. You see our little kids looking to get that acknowledgement, to see their parents. These are things that, for us, like I said, it might be like, oh man, we got to sit through one of these things again. It's the same songs, it's the same, and the principals, or the teachers, everybody gets an introduction, everybody comes in to talk, everybody, but all that, with all that being said, when your babies look out into those chairs, the bleachers, and they see you there, it's well worth it for them. Those are things that, you know, because We are on the go all the time. Sometimes we forget. I'm not saying all the time. There are some parents that are great. There, you see them there at everything. They're in the they're volunteering, parents teachers association. They're doing all of that. Kudos to those parents that are able to do that. Um, it means a lot to the kids to see you to show up and in these in our babies' lives, and it's going to benefit them. We know what fatherless homes and the things, the traps that are already set out there in the world. We know the result of fathers not being in their lives, and when I say in their lives, I don't mean you have to live in a house with your kids to be effective. It's going to be more of an obstacle, but if you don't, the obligation is still there. We still They still want to see you. It's still important to show up. It's still important for them to look in the stands, or it's still important for them on uh, report card day. These are things that are still important, even if you don't get to be there during the day to day, to ask, how was your day? To ask, is there anything new? Those things, even though those things may not be available to you if you're not in a home, there are things that are available for you if you're, if that's the situation, if that's your dynamic. I say go through the brick wall, do everything you can to make sure that you're showing up in these kids' lives. It's very important. Um, so one of the things that I think I'm gonna drop the link because I want to talk a little bit if anybody's interested in coming up. Let's see. What's up, VP? Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you getting there. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link. See if anybody want to come up, um, because I, really plan to just come up for about 10, 15 minutes, talk a little bit. I was gonna do it as an upload, but I just enjoy the immediate interaction more. I enjoy the back and forth. Um, but I got a couple of things I'm gonna throw out. So I'll do it whether anybody comes up or not. But it will require a little interaction. So I will be asking you to contribute a little bit. Appreciate you for getting. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, of course. Replay gang. Please comment afterwards. It is a slow grow for me for the channel. I I just honestly I just don't put enough time in it. I just don't put enough time. I haven't put the time in, and I can make time, but I just haven't. And but it is going to be a slow grow, and I like the dynamic of the people that show up here because I feel like I have a connection with. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I have a connection with everybody here, some way, somehow. We've either chatted in the chat or been on panels together. So, but all right. So anyway, I went and looked up some of the things, some of the benefits, healthy benefits. Let me see. Fathers crucial for healthy development and well-being of children. I picked up 10 things. I'm gonna throw them out there, and you know, you guys tell me what you think of these things. And, and like I said, the link is there. Did the link go in there? Because I can't see. Hold on for a second. I can't see. Yeah, it should be in there. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. I didn't do the pat down. My bad. Hold up.
You good, bro? You good,
Hold up. I just,
man?
man, I've been behind the scenes working on stuff. Y'all give me so many ideas, and I'm working on stuff. And because I don't go live, I don't get a chance to do it. So no, you get the pat down. Welcome to
Uh,
welcome to the show.
you know me, man. You know me. Yes, man. What's going on, man? It's
Hey, nothing,
always a
man.
pleasure to get together with you, man. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you. You my speed, man. You my speed. If anybody's my speed, here is you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. You know, it's like I said, it's always a good time for chop it up with you. It's been a minute. You know, it's been a minute.
Yes. Yes.
For those who don't know, but yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, I'm loving the conversation and the dialogue, and it's a much needed conversation to be had, for sure. Definitely for sure. I'm just sitting back listening. Tell the father, tell the story about your father, and I see so many similarities with my own,
Mm,
and it took me a while to kind of move past the anger and reach a level of understanding
right.
more than anything, because I realized it wasn't healthy for me to be holding that animosity in my heart. So like I said, I was just sitting there listening. I was like, man, the similarities are scary. But I mean, it was about 10 years ago I reached that level where like I just finally understood. And
Right.
and it's not necessarily saying it's giving an excuse for what happened, and him not being as active as he should have been, but just reaching a level of understanding that some people are just afraid of that responsibility.
Right.
And like I said, this coming to a level of understanding, like you wasn't ready for that responsibility, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time I was this was during school hours. I was on the block, and like I said, he worked for the city, so he was always in all the projects here. And I was on the corner with my friends, and he's like, I seen him walking, So I post. I'm like 15. I've been 6'3", 2 and some changes. I've been 14 years old, so I'm big. He still pops. He still, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
he a Vietnam vet. So let's be clear, what would have happened if you know what I'm saying, if
yeah.
it went there. But I'm posted up on the fence, and he's like, he said, "Why are you in the school?" And I said, "I'm sick." And he said, "Oh, you sick?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna just tell you, ain't nothing out here on these streets." And I said, "Yeah, I know, I know, whatever, And I looked at my boy, and I'm like, Shh. And he walked away. Now, now I know he was giving me grace,
Hmm.
but back then, like I had such an anger against him that, you know, it didn't matter. Like he was actually telling me, because he's from there, he's from out there, he worked there, he knows what it is. He was just trying to put me on. He didn't press me. He just said some shit to me real quick. But yeah, he gave me grace that day, because it wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have been. But I had such a hatred for him that I had the gall to say I'm sick while I'm sitting. I'm posting up on the corner during school hours. So I hate.
Hmm.
I had a deep hatred for him.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I was listening, and some of those same feelings and thoughts I had around that age, like didn't understand. You know, I didn't really understand um, what the pressure might have felt like for him, and why he ran from that responsibility. Because at that age, you're not really comprehending all of that. It took me a while. Um, it took me a while, but I'm better for it though.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm better for it because I kind of took his missteps and misgivings, and changed my life, and my way of thinking. Like if I ever was in that position, I wouldn't do that.
right. That's
And
that's what it did for me.
yeah, I turned that anger into motivation. Like what he was, what he felt that I don't want to do that. What he did, I don't want to do that.
Right,
And I'm thankful for that, because I think it made me a better person at the end. But in the moment, you're not thinking like that. You're like, why Pops ain't involved with me? Why he's not showing me that love and attention that,
Yeah.
we as, young men need. We don't articulate it a lot, but we actually need it, especially at that age. But I'm better for it. I'm
Now,
better for it.
what do you think? Like, because, like I said, for me, it was instantaneous when he said, like, like when he made it clear he wanted to be in my life and he was apologizing. Like it was, I didn't even know I had it in me to turn it off, turn that anger off that quick. It just was gone, and I was like really feeling like weight was off of my shoulders. Like I don't even know how to, because I did not know that I needed that at 21, 22 with
Yeah.
your own family. I
Hmm.
didn't know I needed that.
Yeah. I think for me, we was having a conversation, and he was apologizing, but at the same time he was like making excuses, and I was at a point in my life where I wasn't accepting of the excuses. Like I get, apologize, own up to it, accept your actions, and your missteps, and we can move forward. But as long as you are continue to try to blame others for what you were at the end of the day were responsible for, we can't move on.
Right.
And I was actually able to articulate that to him, because I was at that time maybe about 27, 28, and we actually had a real man-to-man conversation, because at that point in my life, I was accepting responsibilities and roles, and excuses don't fly.
Right.
So to hear him try to apologize, but throw excuses, I wasn't accepting. I was like, look, man, this, apologize, we can move forward, I understand, I get it. um I'm past being mad. I just want to just kind of move on with life, and we're better for it. We actually have a relationship now that we didn't have before that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been down to Atlanta several times to go hang out with him, and like I said, we call on occasion. Now we talk a little bit more,
Hmm.
but um, you know, those things, like those, I don't like those things wouldn't have been available if I hadn't. First of all, if he hadn't seek me out, because he had no way of getting in contact with me. I don't remember who he went through and called, and everybody knew that I didn't fuck with him like that. So I don't know who was the person that said, "Yeah, let me," you know what I'm saying? Let me give you this information. I don't know how he got it,
Hmm.
but so without him doing that, and then I had to be open to it. Um, and like I said, it being instantaneous, um, for me to accept him back in my life. And then, you know, as I got older, and so like things for me, so I mentioned how he was a Vietnam vet. So like once I started, as I'm, I didn't have the wherewithal as a young man to kind of see what those type of things meant.
Hmm.
But when I started to do research on the Vietnam War, and I saw how they literally dropped them guys off from the war zone, like right back, just dropped them off, no debriefing, gave them their duffel bags, they dropped them off in the neighborhood, um, and then the treatment that they got, like it was a lot of stuff that made me go, okay, that's why, when something happened. I remember as a kid, my pops had a little Saturday night special he used to keep under the bed, and
I would
I don't know
imagine
how many
so.
I don't know how many times he come running in, grab that thing, and run outside. And as a kid, like I was great, seeing my pops handle business or whatever. But like it was like it explained a lot of things. It explained a lot
Mhm.
of things that I didn't. So there was a lot of things that I just didn't consider. I just wanted my pops around, so that didn't matter to me as a kid. As I got older, and you see certain things, so I started to do a little bit more research and just to have conversations with him. I remember one time I went out to Atlanta, and he took me to we went on a road trip because my family's from Anderson, South Carolina, his side of the family, and we
Mhm.
went to Hartwell, Georgia. Hartswell, is it Hartswell? Hartswell. We went down there, and he took me to some of his friends' house, and we was hanging out there with his friends. And I asked I asked like Vietnam question, and it was like 5 or 6 of them. The energy just went down, and
Yeah,
the heads
change.
went,
Yeah.
yeah, heads went down. And I remember one of his friends saying, "Yeah, we saw a lot of stuff that we shouldn't have had to see at that age."
Hmm.
And so, like things like that made me go, okay, made me appreciate him a little bit more because, again, like I said, he's my dad. I'm an athlete. I'm playing basketball, baseball, football. He ain't in the stands. I'm seeing people, families, you know what I'm saying? So all these things was what was important to me. And then, like I said, as I got older, I was able to put some perspective on some of the behavior. I still don't excuse, you know, ultimately, you know, either whether it's getting help or fighting through some of those things. Ultimately, I held him responsible, but I also saw that in some respect he didn't have the wherewithal to do certain things or behave a certain way.
Yeah, and I get what you coming from. Like I said, you reach a level of understanding as you get older, and you step into those those roles of husband and father. You understand what comes with that, and you understand everybody's not equipped to do that. Um, and for me, it made it easier to kind of rebuild the relationship with my own. Like, oh, I'd accept you for what you are.
Right,
I can never get those years back. I understand that, but you know, um, we can build from here. We can build something. It won't be, you know, the prototypical relationship, but it will be something. Something that we can be, happy with, and something we can be proud of having. But I think that's very important as you know dealing with my own now is like how important your presence is.
right,
Showing up for school events, showing up for athletic events, just showing a level of appreciate, even when they're doing stuff like you cleaning up the house. I appreciate you taking care of that without me having to say it.
right,
How important that is in the grand scheme of things, because it may seem small, to a child. It may seem irrelevant to them that you're doing it, but they'll understand it one day. And I think that's what it important about being a father, planting those seeds to um, and watching them grow, and they'll understand it. Someday they won't understand it now, but they'll get it one day when they step into those roles themselves. So
right. So I just want to talk about this comment here. I think this is a underrated uh, part of the community is you know the mentorship or in his roles. Like he's saying, he lost his father early, had a solid second father. Like,
hmm
what's your thoughts on that? Because I know, like, I know now. I don't know if it's more difficult because I'm not. I don't know that I'm connected, like boots on the ground to the community, like I was at one point.
hmm
But I remember though there were so many men around that tried to. Now I'm a knucklehead, so I wasn't listening to. You couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, yeah, I had somebody like grab my pants and pull my pants because I'm sagging or whatever. But you couldn't get to me. But that role, I don't know if it's active like it was before. There was always somebody. There was always guys, men, and women that were there that knew your parents or knew your mother or knew who you were, and they attempted to guide you. Very underrated role. I don't know. Is that missing? You think that's missing?
Yeah, I do. Luckily for me, growing up, I had very strong male figures to kind of look at as for fatherly examples. But with how the culture is kind of nowadays, the community is not as tight knit as it used to be. To where um, we're lacking. I know. Good brother Outlaw brought this up on the show we did last night. Where men being in the school system, like men being in mentor positions, is reduced now than when I was growing up. I think I try to be conscious of that when I deal with young people outside of my family, to try to be positive male figure that and you can have access to me if you need advice for something. I think that's sorely missing in our community now, where you don't see that. You just kind of see, we just kind of watch the community deteriorate around us, and we just so focused on what's going on with our family, we not concerned about the bigger whole.
Right. I was at work last night. That was such a good, oh man.
What's up on the replay, man?
I wanted to know I was there. I wanted to tap in because the conversation was so I don't know who this is. Hold on. Hold up.
Now, if I get the pat down, whoever this is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who this is. Hold up. Could you gotta hold up. Let me you gotta
get your banner up first. But,
yeah, you gotta but I need you to welcome to the show. Hold on. Where's that thing at? Here we go.
Hi guys.
All right, peace out, bro.
Yeah, you learning. You learning.
What I do. It said what I do. Come on, man. You who is that?
I
I'm gonna give you. I listen. I got the banner up. I'm gonna give you another shot. Talk in your regular voice. Talk in your regular voice. All right.
Hey there.
Hey there. Who's this?
I am Tim.
Tim who?
The awesome guy.
All right. He's a. I'm good.
No, please. I'm Tim Griffin. I'm Tim Griffin.
Go ahead, drop him, brother. Go ahead, drop him.
Yeah, we good.
Go ahead, drop him. No, we ain't on that type time tonight. This is a helpful tip. When they pop up backstage, you see the 3 dots on the
yeah.
always.
I did do that, but I didn't recognize who that is. And listen, in all fairness, last night you guys got a guest who came up and you know what I'm saying, who contributed to the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give people a chance, and I pretty much be in any sector. If there's a conversation that's interesting, I'll go and contribute.
Of course, yeah,
and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that people are gonna do the same. But
he was laughing and giggling and stuff like this is a real grown man conversation.
Yeah. Disguising your voice and all of that. We we're not doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So VP. Yeah. Fact. Vietnam. Yeah. Vietnam was any war. Let me just say that any war. With these guys. Most of them young guys. What they have to experience and coming back and then trying to adjust to civilian life. But
well, let me put this out because I learned this at a training some years ago. You'd be surprised how many people suffer from some form of PTSD.
Right.
That's not war related. We when you think about the stress and trauma that some people go through on their day-to-day lives, like some people really out here living with PTSD for real and have never served a day in the military.
Right. And that's true. That's true. Well, and I think one of the things that this is gonna do another. we doing another.
No, man, it's
the same person. Same person. I'm authenticating. That's the same person.
This what you just go ahead and ban them from the studio.
Just
that way they come on another account, buddy.
I'm gonna just leave his ass back there.
Enjoy the show from the sideline.
Nah, but believe me, listen, I spent a lot of I got banners, I got drops, I got music, I got a bunch of stuff. Because when I'm at work, I can do that. I can mess around on the computer if I get some time. If nothing's going on, if there's no calls or service or something like that, I can mess around on the computer or whatever. So I got all that stuff ready. I just haven't had the chance to use it. So yeah, I'm prepared. I'm just gonna be slow on the trigger. So it's good that you up here just to kind of, nudge me and be like, hold up.
Oh man, listen. Especially when we having conversations, like this. Yeah, I don't even entertain the foolishness. Like, no, 'cause you're not gonna come up here and disrupt. And we thought that was going, that might have happened last night, but luckily it did turn into that. It really turned into a real good conversation.
Right.
So you kind of play with it, and when they're coming up and giggling and sniggling and like, nah,
Yeah.
not to say that type of
He
energy, man.
he got a lot of accounts because he's been back about 3 times under different names. I keep banning him for the studio. And
Hey,
there he
this,
go. He's back here again.
nah, just leave him back there. Just let him keep clicking the link. It ain't gonna hurt. He'll sit backstage, and you can enjoy the show. Tim, Milo, whatever name you trying to use, just leave a comment in the comment section after the show's over.
Yeah, dumb. He's all kind of names back there.
Yeah, just let him stay back there, man. Just let him stay back there. But yeah, this is like I really enjoyed in this conversation because I think we as black men really need to have more conversations like this and talk about some of our experiences with our fathers, not just on Father's Day, like the lessons learned and
Yeah.
share that kind of stuff and tips. Like I looked at my old man as an example of what not to do. Everything that he did, I was like, I don't want to be that kind of father. I don't want to make that kind of mistake. I don't want to treat women that way. I don't want to. I don't. And it helped. But we're in a good place now. We're in a good place now, and I'm happy where it's at. I'm accepting of where it's at, and it's taking him a minute to kind of accept it because I felt like a part of him was trying to make up for lost time, and I had to explain to him like that time is gone.
Right.
Having a conversation you about sex that conversation is long gone, sir. But
yeah.
We can move forward from here and have this regular. I just look at him as this regular adult conversations. And it's no pressure on you to try to fulfill a role that is kind of passed you by.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I said for me it was like we could have a beer because I didn't need any money from him. He couldn't. My playing sports days were over. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't much he could do in those things that I was angry about. So what's the next chapter? That's where our relationship is going to flourish because I can't get those years and harping on those things was not going to do me any good. So now it's more just conversations and having a laugh, and we have great conversations full of laughter, and and I always end the conversation always tell him I love him when I get off the phone.
Yeah, most definitely.
He called me because at one point he had cancer a couple of years back, and I remember him saying like, I'm not letting them cut me. They ain't cutting me, whatever it's gonna be. I had a good life. Like he was like on that type of time. So he had called me and left me a message. I didn't answer the phone. He left me a message. I like saved that message, and I still got that message in my phone because I didn't know, which way it was gonna go. So like the things that, those things became more important to me to future. We talking about where we at from that point on because we can't get those days back. And I'm better for it. I think people around me benefited because it allowed me to. It took a big, like I said, a heavy weight off my shoulders, and it allowed me to relax in a way that I don't think people understood how wound up I was because of it. And I didn't know until it was gone. I was like, oh, that's what that was, man. What I'm saying? Now I could, now I can't, if somebody's talking, if there's a Father's Day come around or my birthday comes around, like I heard from everybody but him, you know what I'm saying? So there was like all of those things are kind of gone by the wayside. And now, and also too, with life, you get mature and you start to, want to, I'm on the other side of 50 now. So yeah, I did the thing, the 22 more summers, 22 summers left. I did that a while ago, but that's where my train of thought is. And a lot of that like I don't know that I would have been open to those type of things and those type of conversations and those type of realizations if I was holding on to a lot of that stuff
Yeah.
that I was holding on to.
I mean, you gotta as you get older, man. I learned that you just gotta let certain stuff go and um, take it for what it is. Because carrying around that kind of weight and unnecessary stress, like when your birthday come around, are you gonna get a phone call? What do you say on Father's Day? Do you call, not call them? Especially when you don't have that kind of relationship. I kind of went through that, like
Right.
before we kind of mended defenses and move forward, like that stress around your birthday, the stress around Father's Day, like do you call, what do you say, like how awkward a conversation that'll be, like I went through that, but once we kind of reconnected, it's like I don't have that anymore. Now I can really focus on what's going on now with me and mine. And he's helpful from time to time, if I need advice. um I just look at it as another resource or something I can tap into. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's for me, it's beautiful to because I didn't think as a child I didn't think I was ever going to reach that point. It was kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Um, but we're good now. We have a relationship, maybe not the typical father son relationship, but we have a relationship, and I think that's very important. Not only for me, but to see, for my kids to see that you know, it ain't just grandma in the pictures, with grandmother and the grandfather.
Yeah, that was another thing too. I
Yeah,
didn't even, you just brought that up. That was another thing with my kids having the other grandfather in their life and stuff, like, you know what I mean? They
yeah,
asking like, what about your dad? And it's like,
yeah. It don't
uh,
have to be uncomfortable now. Like,
yeah,
oh, okay, well, this is where he's at. Would you like to talk to him? And kind of be that the bridge for him to feel build that relationship with them so they can get to know him.
yeah,
um and I think that's very important also. Like I want to be the bridge now. Like we good where we at, but you really want to I guess atone or apologize, do that through them. Show that through them, and I'm happy with that.
yeah. All right, let me see. I found it. So yeah, so I'm gonna throw a couple of things out here.
Okay.
Some of the things, important reasons fathers should be actively engaged in their children's lives. Emotional development.
Ooh, very much so. Very much so. I completely agree with that.
Especially for the young boys, for all your kids in general. But um, you know, we walk a different, we walk a different life,
Hmm.
and I can't tell you that my father taught me how to fight, or how to deal emotionally with a situation, how to walk away. I learned that from the older heads,
Hmm.
and they were misinformed. Everything for them was about violence and immediate violence. You had to, you know, things had to be done a certain way, and it definitely was no crying. Just man up, like all those things that as I gotten older, and I needed somebody to be able to say, it would have been nice to have that, be able to have that conversation where, you know, even something as just losing,
Yeah.
like learning how to lose, like things like that, having somebody there to hug you and say, listen, yeah, you lost, but it's okay. And it's okay to, what I'm saying, like that development, there's some important things that um, we don't, you miss out on. And again, while I'm talking about these things, I'm talking about from a standpoint of the kid and also the father. So if you're a father, I want you to consider these things and consider them, from what it's going to do to help your kids. So
Yeah, because with mine, some you're gonna find yourself getting upset at stuff, but I try to as best I can. Sometimes I falter. I'm I ain't perfect, but I try to be in control of my emotions as much as I can, and I try to teach my son. Don't let your emotions rule you. Don't let it dictate your action and every reaction that you have. you know Take the time, calm yourself, center yourself, and if you still choose to do that, you at least you're trying to, you're doing it with a clear head. But emotional discipline is very important. And as a father, that's, how do you want to teach a kid how to handle certain things, how to handle loss, how to handle rejection, how to handle success. um, it's not always dealing with the negative. Sometimes, how to deal with your positives also.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be a good winner or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy when you think about it, but you have to teach. Um, some kids, get a little big headed, get accustomed to success, and then when they lose, they're not prepared for it.
Right,
And that could be devastating. So just like you have to help them learn to deal with their negative emotions, you have to learn how to help them deal with their positive, how to put that in the proper perspective, I guess. you know
right. Um, all right. So number two was cognitive development. Studies show that children with engaged fathers tend to perform better academically. Fathers often encourage exploration and problem solving, which can enhance a child's intellectual growth.
I would agree with that. And I think, Outlaw kind of talked about this yesterday. You know, Men need to be more involved with the educational process. Um, well, I think both parents do, but I think men um, should really have a very active role in the child's academic life. So you should be at, it shouldn't be just mom going to meetings. You should be going also. You should
Right,
be checking homework. Um, you should be keeping your kid, on their toes about, their grades and that kind of stuff and choices they making in school, and that not just being concerned about, what sport are they playing.
right,
Be concerned about, what electives are you taking. Hey, you might want to pick up, the school's offering Spanish. You might want to pick up that for the elective that could be useful for you in your future.
in the future, right, right,
You might be able to get a job translating for somebody. Are they teaching Mandarin in this school? That might be something you want to. I mean, this being involved for any parent, but I think men especially need to really be active.
correct,
Especially if it's a two-parent household.
right. All right, number three, behavioral stability. Children with involved fathers are less likely to exhibit behavioral problems. The presence of a father can provide discipline and guidance, helping children learn appropriate behaviors and self control.
I would have to agree with. I mean, when you look at, I think I did a show on this like 2 years ago. We were talking about the juvenile justice system. A lot of young men and women, they get caught up. The lack of the male in the household, or a strong male presence actively in the kid's life, um, kind of leads to that kind of behavior where you starting to have behavior issues. In not all cases, but in a lot of them, when you look at, you know, I mean, just the system whole, do they come from, the single parent household where dad wasn't around, no uncle, granddad involved in that person's life? Like it plays a role um in that, you know. I
Right,
like to look at myself as the enforcer. Like my wife, likes to set the rules, but I like to play the role of enforcer. That doesn't necessarily mean beating on the kids or nothing like that. But like, hey, I want to let you know that I'm enforcing what she's kind of put in place, and this is a team effort, and it helps build up the discipline and helps control behavior, because they know you get to acting out, you got to deal with me.
Wait till your father get home. You know what I mean? Wait till your father get home.
You know, it puts a smile on my face, like, oh, they did what? Okay. Watch the energy change when I hit the room.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to mean, you know, coming in with a belt or a switch. That you know, I like to call it that presence, that manly presence. You know, just your being in the room can change behavior.
Facts. What's up, Prez? Salute for coming over, man. All right. Social skills. Fathers play a significant role in teaching social skills through interactions with their fathers. Children learn about relationships, empathy, and effective communication, which are essential for social development.
I'm feeling you on that one. I think, especially if you're in a 2-parent household, I think it's very important for your kids to see you effectively communicating with your spouse, with your wife, to kind of see what a real proper working relationship looks like. Like the kids will never see me raising my voice at my wife, because then you started think, oh, that's how a man's supposed to handle, or in the case of my daughter, that's how a man's supposed to talk to me. No. No. I try to get them to be social and interact. That started at a young age, like taking them to little social parties, the kind of stuff that we we don't really enjoy because it's like too many kids running around. But I want them to I wanted them to develop those kind of skills to where you don't feel uncomfortable being around other people, because it's going to come a point when you leave the household, you leave the nest, and you're going to have to deal with the world. And being, having social skills, it may help you get a job. It may help you, in a future relationship. So yeah, I would agree with that. The man's got to play their part in showing what effective. I believe that showing effective communication in my household, like showing it, like how I interact with my wife, how I interact with my kids. It's not even talking down to them. I still talk to them with love and respect, even when I'm disciplined.
Right. I'm a lecturer, man. I talk to my kids, eyes rolling in the back of their head, like.
Well, they get tired of it, but at the same time, you get it as the parent, because you realize, like, you don't get it now.
Yeah.
But in the future, you'll understand why I'm having to repeat this. You'll understand why I'm talking to you, ad nauseum about this. It'll make sense one day. So go ahead, roll your eyes now. Put your head down now. But 10, 15 years, once you're out of the house, and you'll understand why I was saying what I was saying.
Right. Wait a minute. Let me see. We should start a Mel youth program where we teach basics. Yeah. Say again. Yeah. Look in the eyes. Yeah. Those are things that we used to be told really ad nauseum. When you meet somebody, like, look them in the eyes, check, these are things that we went over. I want to go back to chat live. Chat lives, what was the question?
Why so many single parent homes?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really single it down to one thing. I don't want to sound like Umar Johnson, the school to prison pipeline, but I mean, it's so many factors that go into it. I mean, that's kind of like that question right there deserves its own show, to be honest with
you. Yeah. And single parent homes, there's a single parent home, and then there's consider like somebody that's active that's not in the home. Like, there's a difference between, when you say single parent, you mean single parent home where the mom or the father is the end all be all and there's no interaction with the other parent, or are you saying just because they're living in a single parent home?
Yeah, that's it. That's a question for that's a whole show. It's a lot of factors. You got to talk about relationship between the mother and the father. You got to talk about economics play a role in that. Education plays a role in that. It's a lot of factors that kind of play a role in it. I don't know. It has it to me. It's almost like become so commonplace to where when you like say if you're out of the store, you see a mother with a child, you just automatically assume the father's not in the life. And
Right.
I don't know, we been conditioned to think like that.
For sure. Anytime I see
Yeah.
somebody like walking with a pushing a stroller or at a bus stop, I'd be like, yo, how,
Where the
where's
man at?
yeah,
Yeah.
why you got you at the bus stop? You know what I'm saying? So and he may be at work with the car doing the 20-hour shift.
Yeah, I mean, but I think we as a community can become so conditioned to thinking, the single parent home is the new norm.
Right.
Uh, like I said, that's a chat lines. That's very good, but that's like a whole show unto itself. And I'll be ill equipped to come up here and just to get the rambling off stuff. I would really love to do research on that, so I can come with like some hard facts and stuff like that for that
Yeah.
one.
You don't want to just do a
Yeah. I mean,
a
because we
guy.
can sit here and throw different stuff out there,
Yeah.
out to really address it. Just I think your platform would be the perfect place to kind of have that conversation down the road. Like, I would love to revisit that question in its own separate show and really come with some real tangible facts that people can kind of go and look at and research, because it's a lot of different factors in it. A lot of different factors.
Yeah, I'm down to do it, man. That's the kind of stuff. I want to part of it. What I want to do is to tell some stories. So it's like I did my relationship with my pops. I got 1,000 stories, just scenarios and things, turning points and things like that that changed my life. Some of it went the negative way, some of it went the positive way, but I definitely want to do those things and explore those conversations and chat lives. Uh, you need to get up on some of these panels, talk about this stuff, bro. You have, I'm saying he has an interesting voice, so
He
and a
does.
perspective. So like, um, and this is like he said, this is a good spot. This channel is a good spot to do it because that's really what I'm about here. So
Yeah,
uh,
and like I said, I would want to revisit that and give it its proper due and respect, and I mean that's a show in itself. Just when you really kind of break it out, it's so many factors,
yeah,
so many, and I don't think we would be doing it justice to try to figure it out right in here and right now. Like, nah, I wouldn't even do that.
yeah.
But
No, there is a whole sector that is doing that.
yeah,
They are blame. It's the man's fault. It's a whole sector that do that. And yeah, I listen to those conversations a lot of times, and there's so much nuance to. I mean, everything has nuance to it, but it's not a one stop shop for some of these answers. So, like you said, I know we could definitely do it over here, and I know your track record and how you get down with research and stuff like that.
yeah. Like I said, I would love to revisit that. I mean, because we could spend a whole show just talking about how the economics play a role in that.
Right,
How much that has changed from what mid-70s to now.
right,
In regards to, and that's just with the Black community and the Black home, like how economics has changed a lot of that. Um,
right.
so, but yeah, we'll revisit that.
All right, I'm gonna hit this one more. I got this. I got 10 of them, but I'm gonna just do the fifth one because I'm supposed to be going to check out Bad Boys movie. So
Oh, you'll enjoy it. I went
okay,
and saw it last weekend. It's a good watch, good enough watch. I would say that.
yeah, I like them two dudes together. I must admit, when they years ago when they first said like Martin Lawrence is gonna be in that, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in an action movie? You gotta. I need some Arnold. I need some Sylvester. I need some Carl Weathers. Like you can't, But then to me, it was a good movie, and I follow the series, and I like both of them dudes. Anyway, I like both of them dudes' work. So
Yeah, it's a good watch though. It's a good watch. And I hope you enjoy it. We'll pick it. We'll talk about that another day. What you got for number 5?
All right, number 5 is gender role modeling. Fathers serve as role models, particularly for gender roles. Sons often learn how to behave as men, while daughters gain an understanding of how men should treat women, shaping their future relationships.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier. I think is very important. As a man to make sure that your kids, especially if you have a boy and a girl, that they understand what the man role should be in a relationship, a functional relationship. Because like I said, if you see me hollering at your mother or raising my hand towards her, the son may think, oh, that's normal behavior, and the daughter may think, well, and it's sad to say that, if he don't beat me, he don't love me.
Right.
Well, and that's what I try to be very conscious, even when I may have a disagreement with my wife, like we don't let this play out in front of the kids. Like, we handle this behind closed doors. We're not raising our voice. We're not hollering at each other. It can be tense, but it's always respectful.
That's a hard thing to do, to
to
move the conversation to a different location in that moment, because
but you got to make it's got to be like a practice behavior.
Right.
Because like your instinct is, I want to handle it here, handle it now, resolve it and move on. But then, when you have kids, you have to understand that they're watching.
Right.
They're watching. Daddy opens the door. Daddy pulls a chair out. Daddy's doing this. Daddy is doing that. Mama's doing this. Mama's doing, like, they're watching. So you got to kind of pause yourself, and especially when it's about to be one of those kind of conversations. Hey, we can do this here.
Yeah.
Like, even if I have to walk away, or she, I may be the one trying to press the issue. She might like, no, we're not doing this. Nah, we'll talk about this later. But it's always respectful. But you got to understand, as a parent, they're always watching. Always.
Yeah, everything. I told y'all, and I shared the story with my pops, watching him come home from work, and all he doing is washing his hands and going and sitting down and crack open his beer. He's not even thinking that I'm watching and I'm emulating. We watching him, and I can remember it vividly. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So they are always watching, and it is hard sometimes to stop mid sentence or some, your significant other says something and you go, what? And you gotta
you gotta catch yourself.
Gotta catch yourself. Like, oh wait, yeah.
Well, no, we're not doing this here. We're not doing this here. But even with like, let's say, the wife has the honey-do list for me. Like, I let I want my son to understand, like, it's I want him to understand it's your role to be taking care of yard work. Your mama shouldn't be pushing the lawnmower. Your mama shouldn't be picking up a hammer and a nail unless she's trying to hang a picture or something on her own. But teach this, understand that they're watching. And our roles are clearly defined in our house, and we try to keep it like that because we understand that they're watching and they're learning. Even if we're doing it non-verbally, they're learning. They're watching, and it's important for them to see that, because it's going to affect them in their relationships as they go forward. Like, hold up, why are you yelling at me? My daddy never did that. My daddy never raised his hand at me. No, we don't do that. We don't tolerate that.
Yeah, and even like things like financial things, like exposing your kids to certain things, so somebody can't come in and because there's a lot of people out there who look for soft targets, and if they see a vulnerability in your kids, so say you don't live you don't have you don't have the wherewithal, you don't have money or something like that, and so that may be something that somebody's looking to take advantage of. Well, they don't really have money, so I can offer this kid money, or slick talking. As men, we know when we as boys, we
come on, you know what it's like to be on the phone.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you had to have the cordless phone because you was in the room.
Listen, man, let's go back. One phone with a 30-foot cord that went to every room. And your mother get on the phone, be like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. She'd be like, don't you got school tomorrow? Get off.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. No, ain't no hold on. Hang up. All right. And you know what I'm saying? But things where now with cell phones and things like that, and now with the internet, and now with the access that kids have to so much information, these things that we're talking about are even more important because there's so much stuff their kids and adults are being bombarded with these things, that these things we're talking about as parents, and particularly we're talking about fathers today, but these things are really important that we gotta double down on this stuff and make sure that we're there in their lives for our kids.
Well, to add to that, like we were talking about the social media part, I think it's important as not just fathers but mothers, but we're talking about Father's Day to kind of educate yourself on what's going on, what's trending as best you can, in regards to what your kids are watching, what they're intaking, as best you can, and that'll help you developing certain strategies for parenting.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a TikToker, but I know what my little ones are consuming. Like what are you watching? What is this?
Yeah.
Making sure it ain't nothing appropriate. I had to learn it was like a Facebook for kids. They wanted to get on that. Monitoring that stuff. But you got to be educated. Can't just say, well, they on their phone, they quiet, I'm good.
Yeah.
No.
Same thing with the music. The music. Like we quick to, oh man, turn that. But listen, I got to be in tune to what this is. A lot of this stuff is, this it's a drug taking culture. It's a depressive. It appears like there's a lot of sadness, a lot of drugs, and I'm talking about, or actively saying like I'm doing this because.
But it's different because now music is at your fingertips. We're from the era when you had to actually go buy this stuff. So mom knew you was getting NWA or Dr. Dre or whatever. Like she knew because you had to go have a parent or someone 18 to have it. You had to be a physical copy. Now they got the stuff on their phone. They got access to it. It's different. It's even more pressure on a parent to like stay up on that. What are they intaking? Back then, your mom knew what you was listening to because it wasn't but certain things you was either tape or a CD.
That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't on your tablet. Listening to Lil Durk. Like you actually had to have physical copies laying around so that they come in your room and clean up. Oh, what is this? Oh, this doggy style. What is this? Where you get this from?
Mm-hmm.
It's different now. It's I think that's something I had to adjust to. Like I'm from the era you had to buy this stuff. Like now you just go online and search it and get to playing it.
All right, now what is this? How many? What? I never did that. What are you talking about?
No, what are you talking about? You like I get it. I get it. Brothers used to have Playboy and Hustler, just because he wanted the eye candy. Now
Nike shoebox, baby, that Nike shoebox, under the in the way back in the closet. We had them.
Nobody could find it.
We had them closets that was behind the stairs, so the closet got lower and lower. You got to put it under the first step, way in the back. Throw a couple of things in front of that, make it a process, man. But
they found it. They had to go looking for it.
They had to go looking for that, man.
I mean, but now like they got access. You can go on Twitter and catch a thread, and you see all kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. Allegedly, people be getting terabytes of the stuff. So.
Ain't no legend to it, man. Ain't no legend to it.
Oh man, but yeah, man. I got about a half hour. I got to get dressed. Drama, man. I appreciate it, man. Damn.
You know, it's always listen. We ain't got together in a minute. I think it's been
Man.
what, about a couple of months. You know, we
Yeah,
got
I think last
yeah,
time it was on
the corporate space. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
we was
yeah.
up
We,
there.
we was
Yeah.
over there. So yeah, but it's always a pleasure. And like I said, I, anytime you have a show, man, I come through support. Um, you need me on the panel, I'm there. Whatever. Um, 'Cause it's needed. It's
Yeah.
needed. Having real dope conversations without the Milos and the Tims.
Yeah, I'm about to say you brought your friends along next time,
Man,
next time I
I'd
do
be like, I'd be like, hey, how'd you find me? And like
yeah. I
some of
was
these,
gonna do that. I had to listen, man. You guys laid the blueprint out. I got my pat down. I'm gonna let them talk and ask them some questions. But it was even better because you on the panel, so it'd have been even more of a better interrogation. But we coming with the goofy voice.
yeah, but you come on giggling. It's like, come on, man. You
Yeah,
at least try to keep it. If you're gonna troll, at least try to keep keep it together like the guy Mike did last night. Like, yeah, okay, so let us warm up to you first, because we not used to strangers just walking
yeah,
in and then want to walk on the panel. That'd be like the kicker to be like they don't even want to chill out in the chat. They just like, I want to hit the link. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
but I'm gonna get on out of here, brother.
Yeah, man. Really, I really appreciate it, man.
Not a
Really
problem,
appreciate it.
man. And enjoy your movie, and we'll meet up and we'll link up and do all of that kind of stuff, man. I hope everybody that tuned in tonight, man, enjoyed the show. It was a very, very needed conversation. Very healthy conversation to say the least. And we'll pick it up, man. We'll pick it up. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your eating, man. And God bless all y'all. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
you know, all the future fathers, man. Don't be afraid of that role and responsibility. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a
Yeah, man.
beautiful, beautiful thing.
Happy Father's Day. And again, thanks, Drama, for stopping through. Thanks for everybody checking in and commenting. I am a uh I like the immediate interaction. So I definitely appreciate that. And I want to do this again. I've said it. I'm going to keep saying it. I want to do full panels. I want us to be able to have these discussions. There's a lot of voices that I've connected with here that like really have good perspective and are unique. And I think a lot of times from what we present or what we're doing on here, people may not get a chance to see those things. If you're putting on a show or you're putting on a production and you don't generally have these conversations, but I know we're capable of it. And because I know Identity, who's there, he was doing it more actively a while ago. He hasn't tapped in, and he's not afraid of controversial topics. And but even when it's a controversial topic, the conversation is had in a healthy way, and that's kind of what I want to model this after. And definitely, I still, if Binary's still here, yeah, man. Well, I still got to do the part two. I had a good engagement from our first interview when I was just doing audio podcast. I had a lot of people really enjoyed that. Wanted to, especially back then, it was like really um, like trolling was something that was not new, but it was on the rise, and people really wanted to hear from somebody who like went behind the scenes, like who, why would somebody do that stuff? And so I definitely got a lot of things I want to do. And again, I got like 10 shows lined up that are in the background, notes, everything all over the place. I just need time. And I say that to say, I appreciate you guys showing up in my absence because I don't do this a lot. And it's hard to, uh, grow an audience when you don't show up a lot. That's the thing, is showing up. And I just want to thank everybody, Mikey, Lisa J, Prez. Um, I like your after dark talk, so that will fit right into what I'm doing here. Of course, homie Howard, Legend, Miss VS. Well, VS speaks royalty. Um, you know, one of my favorite people out here. And again, I appreciate everybody for coming out. And I usually have an outro that I usually do, but I like my intro so much that I'm gonna use it as my outro. At least today. All right, peace, y'all.
Yeah. Look, invitation sent, signed, sealed, delivered, you got it, now welcome in. Engaging with the listener, a space for where you is. As we debate particulars, trying to build a bridge through conversation that's intimate. The mission is thought-provoking with words spoken. Bitter truth, not sugar-coated, just an openness placed on display. Wisdom in the words that he say, a part of just embracing every gray over here. No fear, clear, I'm unafraid. I'm much older, I no longer hold a child ways. Adults in the room, times past for playing games. Grown talk, isn't that the reason why you came? Simple and plain, delivery raw, straight to the chase. Better than before, learning from your yesterdays. Introducing insight, influence, be amazed by a brother of a certain age. Now rock with him.